Hello everyone, so here's my updated week 3 Banks program. So to start off is we're just gonna walk through it. We're actually just gonna run it first. So we're gonna run it real quick. Um and as you see at this time, it starts off with the account menu, not just asking you to enter in your name or balance. So to enter that in though, now we press option 4 and press 4. And then you enter your name. I'm gonna enter my own name. I'm gonna put a balance of let's say 500. All right. Now, this week, the big update is you can add multiple accounts. So let's add another account and let's call it Harry. And let's say Harry has $600. Okay, let's add one more account. And um, say he has 300, or his name is 300 and he has 300. Okay, that works. So now if we press 1, we get to see all of the accounts information, which is a security issue, but that will probably be solved in future weeks. But the big one, we can see the IDs, the names, and the balances. So let's press option 5, which is find account by ID. And so let's enter ID number 6, which shouldn't exist. So we get account not found. Now let's do number 5 again. And let's press 2. And there we go. We see Harry's account. So the more secure option of seeing all the account information. Now let's say we want to deposit money. Let's say into my account. So let's add, let's press number 2. And now we have to know the ID for me, since I was the first one. I have account 1. So I press 1. Now it says amount to deposit. Let's say I add $60. Okay. Now let's say we want to take money away from 300's account. So to do that, we will press 3. And then the ID of number of 300 is, of course, 3. And we get to amount to withdraw. Let's say we'll withdraw 3. And there we go. Now let's see what if those actually did affect the accounts. And they did. As we can see, 300 only has $270. And Isaac now has 560. And the final thing that you can do is press option 0, which is quit the program. And there we go. Now, we're going to walk through this code just a little bit. So obviously we are including IO streams, strings, and this week the special occasion is list, and including the account H files. And then again, using std accounts and get line, end line, and list. We actually declare 3 functions outside of the main function and the class, which is display menu, add account, display accounts, and then we have this list function over here. So into the main, we start off by creating a list called accounts, which is the main list to keep track of all the accounts that we have. Int choice is you get to choose what you're doing, and this is well choice. So if choice goes to 0, then it gets out of the while loop. Anything else that hangs in there. So then we go to display menu, which again, we declared up there. So that leads us to this display menu count, and then that mess um, out statements pretty much. And then after that, we get this sin choice. And then after that, probably the most important thing is this sin ignore. If you do not put that in there, the get lines will be skipped and it will be really frustrating and it won't work. So CI and ignore std, blah, blah, blah. I'll be honest, I found this on Stack Overflow because I was having an error of skipping, and I'll go into that in a second. And then we go into the switch choice. So this is a, just a if else statement, but a little nicer. So if case 0, it breaks. Case 1, it goes to display accounts. And so we go to this display accounts function right here. Basically, it takes the list and iterates through it. And it goes through each account and goes to the display function in the accounts class. Then after that, if your option is 2, option 2, 3, and 5, I'm going to break down at the same time. So I want to start with 5, and then 2 and 3 just have one addition. So obviously what we do is we get an input, we enter the ID of the account defined, and we get that input, and then we iterate through the list, and we find it by find ID. So basically what it goes through this list iterate find by ID, and basically loops through an if account list begins. And basically it goes through the list, it finds if there is an ID that is true, then it returns that ID. And if there is actual an ID basically doesn't return account.ends. It will display that account information. If not, it will shout out account not found. And the same thing for 2 and 3. The only difference is if you do find one, it goes into this little 4 lines of code where basically we declare a deposit amount, it asks you for a deposit amount, and then that deposit amount gets put into that ID number or account. So that's what 2 and 3 are basically. That's why they are the same. And now we will jump to number 4. Number 4 should get cleaned up. I'm not going to, because this was the one that caused the most frustration. As I mentioned earlier, that we have this CI sin ignore or console.ignore. If you do not put that, what ends up happening, actually, let me show you what happens real quick. If that line is not in there, and it was, put it this way, I'm going to press 4 real quick. And as you see here now, the enter name, you don't get to do that. It goes straight to balance. So let's say I do decide to be rebellious, enter in my name because I'm stubborn, and I get an error. As you can see behind me, this pops out and basically says sort of out of range, blah, blah, blah. So that's the big reason why that's there, is to fix that error. And so that's why if you look around in the code some, you'll see the same little section done over and over again, because I could not figure out why it was in skip error, but that's why that's right here in number 4. And then it goes to this add accounts function. And the add accounts function, it goes straight, it does the same thing for balance, and then it does this initializer. But before the initializer, there's the account constructor that we have right here. And basically, to create any account, we need a name and balance. And the initializer kind of really just sets the ID now. Account list and push, and this account list pushback basically puts at the end of the list. So that is the main class. Again, the H file, everything's the same. The get balance and get name were used to try to fix the error before the CI, the console.in was discovered, that error. And then same thing with the account thing, those are there. And as you can see, the initializer has kind of gone bare bones, but we see the constructor has a lot of things already in it. So yeah, this is my week 3 update for this bank program. So all right, I hope you have a great day. All right, bye.